Beelzebub has a devil put aside for me, for me, for me. So you think you can stop me and spit my eye?
Office of President.
I got 100 on my dash, got 200 in my trunk. Name in the grab bags, put my Bible in the trunk. Like a rocket on the top of my binocular trunk. How can I can make a popular? Pop when I want. See, I'm living with anxiety, ducking that sobriety. Fucking up the system, I ain't fucking with society. Justice ain't free, that's what justice ain't me. So I justify his name on the obituary. Why you wanna see a good man with a broken heart? Once upon a time, I used to go to church and talk to God. Now I'm thinking to myself, I don't think to sound like God. Now I'm thinking by myself at the intersection park. Watch you when you walk inside your house. You threw your piece on the couch. Now you kick me through the fucking door and blowing out every piece in your brain till your son jumped in your arm. Cut on the engine and sped off in the rain and gone.
We were told, guys, we were told for 1 year, one calendar year, that we were going to get the names on the Epstein client list. We were told that. We were told. I have the list. I can't wait to read the list. I'm dying to read the list. There is no list. Forget lists. Lists aren't even real. Look at your to-do list. It's gone. There are no lists. They never exist. Islands aren't even real. You think islands are real? You think Epstein had an island? You think an island's a thing? You think there's a piece of land out there surrounded by a body of water? Grow up, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt our regular programming to bring you this urgent...
Well, I have to go quick, but I can still give you my testimony. You want to understand the world I lived in? Fine, but don't pretend you're ready for it. People love their tidy little narratives. They talk like Jeffrey and Donald were some exclusive duo. That's cute. Donald knew my father, Robert, long before he had any interest in Jeffrey. My father collected powerful men the way others collect cufflinks. Donald was just another ambitious climber in those rooms. And Jeffrey? He belonged to everyone. He didn't believe in loyalty. He believed in leverage. And that's the part the press never understands. And yes, we worked heavily with the Clintons. The number of White House visits in the 90s was more than considerable. But the public forgets. Jeffrey and I were far closer to that orbit than people admit now. But Donald makes flashier headlines, so they rewrite history. Jeffrey wasn't just what they say now. He was a financial criminal first. Offshore channels, shell networks, quiet arrangements.
How he got started in the 70s, the influence he had. There's got to be people that either trained him to do what he did in the 90s, 2000, or influenced him.
You know, as I just mentioned earlier, most people think of Epstein as a sex criminal. Based on my research, he's just as much a financial criminal as a sex criminal.
People weren't drawn to him by charm. They were drawn by what he knew. Secrets were currency. The girls were tools. Terrible ones, but tools nonetheless.
Epstein not really as a sex trafficker, even though the part of the story, and not really as a intelligence agent, even though that's a part of a story, and that the girls' side of it is because girls juice deals.
The hotel industry has been sued for sex trafficking again and again as a group, believe it or not. It's systemic. In fact, you can't run a hotel without knowing that it's your repeat business that keeps the lights on. You check out rooms to vacationers seasonally. You rent beds to traffickers and sex workers year-round. Even P. Diddy said in his trial that his favorite place for his criminal escapades was Trump's New York City International Hotel.
October 2012, a record show to the jury indicated that Diddy's ex-girlfriend, Casey Ventura, was taking part in a freak-off at the Trump International Hotel in New York with 2 male escorts.
What's curious is somehow every reference tying Trump hotels to that broader pattern that sex workers and traffickers keep the bills paid in the hotel business has quietly gotten scrubbed away online. Obviously, digital housekeeping before he ran for president. Very thorough. Before I tell you how Trump and Jeffrey were connected, I want you to know Trump's other business partners weren't saints either. One of them, Tevfik, was arrested overseas in a case tied to underage prostitution at a Trump-branded property. Charges softened later, as they do. Funny how echoes fade. You have to also understand Donald's real education on how to play the power game that allowed him to climb to the presidency came from Roy Cohn. Roy taught him the dark arts of power: intimidation, humiliation, leverage. Roy didn't practice law. He practiced influence.
Trump's longtime lawyer and mentor, Roy Cohn, who once served as a top aide to the red-baiting Senator Joseph McCarthy.
Roy himself told me they talked 15 times a day. But there's no question that next to Fred Trump, Roy Cohn was the single greatest influence in Donald's life.
Jeffrey was known to visit Mar-a-Lago without Donald. He was seen regularly at Donald's Atlantic City properties, too. He almost certainly stayed there without Donald, doing God knows what. Donald didn't know, and he didn't want to know. But when he learned Jeffrey was preying on girls from his Mar-a-Lago staff, and when he knew he would run for president again, everything changed. Quietly, the Atlantic City Hotel shifted into a business associate's hands, and then the building vanished, demolished. People say it was in disrepair, maybe. But I've known powerful men my entire life. I know what it looks like when someone scrubs a location clean. Not to cover a crime, or to erase the possibility of one. To erase the anchor points victims might cling to when the truth starts to surface. Like the mob burning down a shop. Not out of guilt, out of self-preservation. People think Donald decided to run for president because Obama mocked him. Please. That was theater. The decision to run happened long ago. But people like a story, so that's how it was played out, like theater in the media. As for Jeffrey's death, everyone wants a single villain. One man, one office, one administration. That's childish. Jeffrey had leverage on red, blue, fawn, domestic. Too many of the wrong people. You don't survive long when you collect secrets on those who command armies, budgets, and intelligence agencies.
They finally got them all from the FBI. There was a big dump, and Kash Patel is going through them. And the question of, will they be redacted? She says yes, to protect the victims. But then she also says that they will be redacted for matters of national security.
Mossad taught him how to keep trophies. That was his mistake. And me? People whisper. Mossad this, Mossad that. My family's history gives them plenty of material. But Donald knew me as a child. He knew my father. Old loyalties don't fade. They solidify. But here's the part almost no one understands. The race to make AI video indistinguishable from reality wasn't about innovation. It was a race to make Israel's blackmail unusable. Sure, they secured their massive foreign aid package, and they had the leverage to make the United States look the other way as Gaza was turned to dust. But the real space race of AI video was about destroying the value of incriminating footage.
It allows you to just lie about shit. You can show something that makes your opponent look bad and go, that's real, even if it's not. And something that genuinely makes you look bad, you can go, that's not real, that's fake. So it's like a get out of jail free card for fucking dishonest hacks. And now, of course, our country is full of dishonest, hacked politicians.
Blackmail used to mean something. A tape, a photo, a recording. Now any footage can be dismissed as fabricated. Once evidence became deniable, leverage died. Our tapes became worthless. The entire blackmail economy collapsed quietly. And the Pentagon understood exactly what that meant. Jeffrey and Mossad had been leveraging these tapes for years before anyone knew the scale of it. And that was the tipping point. That's part of the reason why they built a CIA base disguised as an embassy in Lebanon at the massive scale that they did. Not for him specifically, but because they finally realized how much Israel's blackmail and leverage had seeped into American power. They needed close proximity to Israel to maintain it strategically, but enough distance to protect their operations and monitor the backstabbing Zionists.
Apparently the Lebanon's government, the officials are basically corrupt enough that they're fine with the U.S. doing this. It is incredibly secretive. As they mentioned, you don't know, the U.S. government has not talked about why this is so large, what's going on inside of it. Really what it is it's a combination of embassy, intelligence services, military services. It's basically everything the U.S. would need to run large-scale operations out of Beirut.
All this 3D chess, and for what? So you might be wondering, what am I going to do? I'm going to wait to see whether Donald's goodwill survives the storm as he wishes me well. Wait to see those memories fade, and whose grudges don't. Empires rot from the inside, and I've had a front row seat.
You're
about to watch
today's
news created by 42 news
makers on the reverse
and only zero profit
independent
decentralized news network.